हेलो नमस्ते, स्वागत है आप सभी का ऑन द इंडियन क्रिकेट पॉडकास्ट एपिसोड 1 एंड आवर गेस्ट ऑफ कोर्स इज द वन एंड ओनली पीयूष चावला। जैसे आपको पता है ऑलरेडी, मैं पता नहीं क्यों कर रहा हूँ, बट आई वुड लाइक टू मेक दिस इंट्रोडक्शन बिकॉज इट्स एन इम्प्रेसिव सीवी तो हम बनाते रहते हैं ऑल द टाइम, बट ये सीवी देख लो आप पहले। The two-time World Cup winner with Team India, one-time IPL winner, third highest wicket taker in the history of the IPL. मेरे ख्याल से ही इज़ द OG मॉडर्न डे लेग स्पिनर। इन्होंने ट्रेंड को अडॉप्ट किया और बहुत ही जल्दी वेरिएशंस लगाए, स्टार्टेड बॉलिंग क्विकर इन द एयर, बहुत सारी चीज़ें करी और IPL में बहुत सक्सेस भी मिला पीयूष चावला को। एंड वी टॉक अबाउट दैट ऑन द पॉडकास्ट। वी स्पीक अबाउट हिज करियर, वी स्पीक अबाउट हाउ ही began playing, the influence of Shane Warne, and there's a beautiful story there that Piyush Chawla narrates. Keep your eyes out for that. We also spoke about IPL 2022 auction के बारे में बात करी, and also what does Piyush Chawla do on auction days, which is a very very interesting segment, so keep your eyes out for that as well. And a whole lot more. We also spoke about his ambitions, क्या करना चाहते हैं वो for Team India, how does he look at his position at this point of time in his career. So a fascinating episode 1. मुझे बहुत बहुत मज़ा आया to talk to Piyush Chawla. If you like it as well, I urge you to subscribe and hit the bell icon, क्योंकि ऐसे ही ढेर सारे conversations होने वाले हैं on the Indian Cricket Podcast. जैसे मैंने कहा इंट्रो में, आप ब्रॉडकास्ट हर जगह देखते हो, एनालिसिस हर जगह देखते हो, बट दिस प्लेटफॉर्म इज़ फॉर रियल क्रिकेट कॉन्वर्सेशंस और एनालिसिस भी कर लेंगे थोड़ा बहुत। ऑलराइट, इट्स टाइम टू रोल एपिसोड 1 ऑफ द पॉडकास्ट। लेट्स गो। वेलकम टू द इंडियन क्रिकेट पॉडकास्ट एपिसोड 1। पीसी भाई, कभी आपने सोचा था आप ओपनिंग भी कर लोगे? आज हमारा शो ओपन कर रहे हो आप।
मैं जब क्रिकेट शुरू की थी तब ओपनर ही था।
सी
तो ओपनिंग करना मेरा शौक है।
लाइफ कम्स अ फुल सर्कल पीसी भाई।
100% कभी ना कभी तो ओपन करनी थी, वहां भी करी। जब शुरू में जूनियर क्रिकेट में खेलना शुरू किया, अब यहाँ भी करी।
और आप अभी लेटली बड़े छक्के भी लगा रहे हो डोमेस्टिक में, मजा आ रहा है बैटिंग करते हुए?
हाँ, एक्चुअली हम लोग अभी बॉम्बे में खेल रहे थे। विकेट्स वर रियली गुड टू बैट ऑन, सो या थोड़ा नीचे जाके कोशिश जारी थी पूरी, तो थोड़ा हाथ खोलने का मौका मिला तो लगाए।
आजकल पीसी भाई, आपने तो अपने बॉलिंग से तो you've brought great value to Team India over the years and in your franchise cricket, but ऑलराउंडर का स्पॉट थोड़ा सा खुल रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है मुझे हर जगह एनीवे। तो वहां पे बाकी लोगों को बाय बाय करने का इरादा है।
देखिए, एज वी ऑल नो कि क्रिकेट हैज बिकम डिमांडिंग दीस डेज। पहले अगर सिर्फ एक चीज में भी हल जाता था, बट अभी यू हैव टू बी make sure you're contributing in all the departments, not only bowling, like 100%. Fielding also, batting also. And if I'm going like as a batter lower down the order, so my job is just not to survive कि मेरे को यार ठीक है 10 बॉल खेल के निकालनी है। अगर मैं 10 बॉल खेलूंगा in a shorter format, so मेरा एम रहता है कि मैं कम से कम 16 से 20 रन टीम के लिए उन 10 बॉल में बना सकूं। तो obviously उसके लिए प्रैक्टिस की जरूरत पड़ती है, और डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट इज अ वेरी गुड प्लेटफॉर्म बिकॉज यू गेट क्वालिटी बॉलर्स टू प्ले एंड स्कोरिंग अगेंस्ट देम always boosts your confidence as a player.
100%. We'll come to that later, in terms of how the demands of the game are changing and how athletes now have to change. The cricketers have to adapt at every step. We'll come to that. But just taking a quick look at your career as well, PC bhai. 25 ODIs, a number of T20Is, a few tests as well. 167 IPL games, 156 wickets, the third highest of all time in the IPL. आपका स्टैचू कब अनवील हो रहा है ईडन के बाद पीसी भाई? It's due for a long time.
अभी वो काम करने के लिए अभी बहुत कुछ अचीव करना बाकी रह गया है। तो अगर अभी स्टैचू बनेगा भी तो सिर्फ पैर ही बनेंगे, बाकी का काम होना अभी बाकी है। तो उसके लिए अभी काफी कुछ अचीव करना रह गया है। So hopefully another 3-4 years, 5 years cricket जो भी मैं खेलूंगा, तो उसमें I'll be able to achieve what I am aiming for.
The hunger lives on. No, वो चीज कभी आप बंद नहीं कर सकते। अगर आप कंटेंट हो गए कभी, तो that's it, right? That that's the end of almost the end of your career. You can't never be content.
100% because cricket especially एक ऐसी चीज है कि यू आर नेवर सेटिस्फाइड एज अ प्लेयर। आप जाते हो, 3 विकेट मिलते हैं और आप 40 रन देते हो, तो दिमाग में एक चीज आती है, यार मैं 30 रन दे सकता था और आई थिंक 1 विकेट और बढ़ सकता था। तो वो चीज कभी खत्म नहीं होती, एंड दैट्स माय वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट, बिकॉज whenever I go into bowl or bat, so जो भी कुछ होता है तो वो लगता है कि यार और 5% इम्प्रूव हो सकता था।
And 5% is a big difference, no? Professional cricketers will tell you कि हाँ 5% is a lot. Yeah.
100%, 100%, 5% में आप गेम चेंज कर देते हो, क्योंकि so many games we have seen जो 5 रन से इधर उधर होते हैं, तो that 5% makes the huge difference.
Yeah. So इसमें मैं कह रहा था, या 5% की हमने बात करी obviously, but you've gone on to contribute far more than that extra 5% in your career with India. But I want to start with franchise cricket, because in the way I look at it, you are the OG modern day leg spinner. You started this, you started the trend, or rather you adapted to modern day spin bowling very early, and the dividends were sort of very visible with your time in franchise cricket, etc. So how has that been like? मतलब आपने obviously आपकी जो परवरिश हुई, क्रिकेट वाली परवरिश, वो तो आई एम श्योर वुड हैव बीन कन्वेंशनल लेग स्पिन, teachings and all of that, but you had to adapt very quickly to modern demands. तो वो कैसा था आपके लिए?
Well, it was quite tough, to be very honest, because जैसा आपने बात किया कि I started as conventional leg spinner, तो longer format खेलना, one-days खेलना, T20 इतना सोचा नहीं था। तो जब उसके बाद T20 में आया, तो I struggled big time to start within first few games, and especially in franchise cricket. Like, I still remember my debut game we played against CSK when I was playing for Kings 11, and they went on to score कोई 240 run where Hasi got 100. And I just bowled one over in that game and I went for like 20 odd runs. Then we moved on to Jaipur to play the second one. I bowled 2 overs for 30 odd runs. So I came back to my room and I was literally thinking, yaar, whether I'll be able to adapt this T20 cricket or not, whether I'll be able to continue in T20 cricket or not. So luckily that game was against Rajasthan Royals, and the captain of that team was the legend Shane Warne, and I got the opportunity to have a word with him. So उनसे जब बात करी तो मेरे को थोड़ा सा आइडिया लगा कि what all I can do, because मेरे को लगता था कि मैं बहुत कुछ चेंज करना जा रहा हूँ. So he only told me that you should never leave that wicket taking thought process of yours as a bowler. बिकॉज अगर आप सोचने जाओ मैं रन बचा लूंगा, तो आप रन बचाने के चक्कर में मार भी खाओगे और विकेट्स भी नहीं आएंगे. सो आई थिंक द बेस्ट वे टू कंटेन द बैट्समैन टू गो फॉर विकेट्स, एंड दैट रियली हेल्प्ड मी बिग टाइम.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, क्योंकि अगर मैं थोड़ा सा पीछे के बारे में सोचूं, 2008, 9, 10, 11 IPL, तो स्पिन बॉलर्स पर इतना ज्यादा प्रेशर था, एंड क्या ऐसा हो रहा था कि सारे तेज स्पिन गेंदबाज तेज डालना शुरू कर रहे थे. they were not flighting it a lot. They were all looking to just fire it in. It was always about firing it in, and it seems like it felt like the essence of spin bowling was somewhere lost in this format. लेकिन अगर आप अभी देखें तो spin bowlers are extremely valued in the shorter format. In fact, more valued than probably any other skill set. So how has that sort of transition been like for you? You've seen everything.
Well, I was being lucky enough that my natural bowling was bit quicker through the air. So मेरे को उसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा changes नहीं करने पड़े, because right from the beginning, and in fact lot of coaches told me that if you want to play cricket, so being a leg spinner, you have to bowl little slower in the air. But that was not my natural. So मेरे को बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें changes नहीं करने पड़े. So I was just I was sticking to my strength, and I always believed कि आप कुछ अलग ज़रूर करो, पर जो अपनी strength है आप वो कभी नहीं छोड़ो, and whatever you want to develop, you develop around that particular thing. You develop all those new things around your strength. So I never left that strength, which is like little quicker in the air, and obviously then I started bowling little slower in the air. Then I think I was the one who literally introduced bowling with the seam up, like touching 115, 118.
Yeah.
So I've changed few things, and every year, like there are a lot of people say like I'm coming this year with this weapon, and after 1 year वो बोलते हैं कि अब मैं कुछ और नया ढूंढ के लाया हूँ. So I never believed in all that. I was like जो आपकी strength है, जिसकी वजह से आपने इतने विकेट लिए, आप सक्सेसफुल हुए हो. So just to make sure you sharpen that, you sharpen that every day in day out.
Yeah, that's very interesting because variations के बारे में हम बात करते हैं, all the time when we sit down to analyze spin bowlers, we say variation, right, all the time. But if a lot of very distinguished people who know spin well say that every person, the way the ball gets out of their hand is different, right? It's completely different. Every person's mobility is different, the release, everything is completely different. And to ensure, so do you think it is about protecting your authenticity कि आपका जो natural है उसको आप end तक protect करें while adapting? Is that why you were so successful?
Yeah, that's what my belief is. Ki jo, as you mentioned, like is my strength, what I have started doing right from the beginning. So I'm never gonna change that, because till now, whatever amount of little bit of cricket I've played and few wickets I have taken all those because of this only. So I'm not gonna leave that behind. And obviously, I would love to add few variations around that, and that's what I keep trying in the nets. Sometimes I bowl.
Wow.
Like I keep trying different things.
Yeah. That's amazing, even after all these years, and it's such a fine balance of keeping your authentic self and also trying new things, in freshening it up. So it's such an art, spin bowling, I always feel spin bowlers are like delicate flowers. You have to protect them, you have to nurture them, you have to allow them to grow in their own space. And then when they do bloom, they are probably the most beautiful flowers out there. And now, as we see in all the T20 leagues everywhere, they are the most precious also. हर जगह demand में.
Yeah, because my belief is people started realizing that especially in T20 format, wickets are very important. Because if you see right from the fast bowler, spinner, medium fast bowler, whatever it is, everyone going for run. But the bowlers who are successful, who gets wicket? Because going for 4 overs, 30 runs, picking up 2-3 wickets, it's definitely going to help the team. Rather than if you come and you think I can bowl 4 overs for 20 runs, that's going to happen in one game out of 15 games. But every game, most of the bowler goes for run. So you add that value if you pick up the wicket, if you're picking up wickets. If you're not picking up wickets, it's going to help the cause. So my belief is you come in, you just try and pick up wicket. You put in your best as a bowler, because run तो सभी को पड़ ही रहे हैं. तो wicket लेके अगर आप कुछ करते हो तो वो टीम को help करेगा.
That flows in very well with what I wanted to talk to you about, which is, you spoke about adaptability and the modern day T20 spin bowling movement that has happened over the last few years, of course. One of the very interesting things that I saw in the last year was something where Rashid Khan and Shane Warne were doing a small segment together on an Australian broadcast network, PC bhai. And they were just comparing कि दोनों के grips कैसे हैं, दोनों का action कैसा है, how is their movement, how do they go about it, etc. And Rashid said he has 4 grips for the conventional leg spinner, whereas Shane Warne just has 1 grip, and he went on with 1 grip. So is that in effect the difference, that is now having 4 different grips for just one particular delivery, and those are the demands, and that's how spin bowlers have to adapt like this?
Well, if you're talking about between Shane Warne and Rashid Khan, no doubt we all know what Rashid Khan is capable of and what he has achieved in the shortest format. But on the other hand, if you look at Shane Warne, the great Shane Warne, with one variation, if he said he has, made the whole world, all the batsmen in the world made dance on his tune. So you can't really compare it, because Shane Warne, when he played T20 cricket, he was as successful as Rashid Khan only.
Yeah.
So because his brain, the way he used to play around with the batters, it was something outstanding. So, and if you're talking about the variation, you can have 4 grips, you can have 6 grips, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, what matters, how you're gonna get the wicket.
What's your prediction for Rashid at the auction? What do you think is going to happen? बड़ा interesting मामला है वो, मतलब it's he has.
I don't know whether.
Yeah, you don't know whether he'll come to the auction.
Yeah, because he might be picked in the draft itself. Yeah. So it's not sure that he'll be in the auction or no.
कोई guarantee नहीं है, और you talk to anybody, they say the same thing, you know, like he's not even going to be a part of the auction. It's not happening. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Such a great
because
relationship.
even if he comes to the auction, so I don't know whether because it's the limited purse and everyone has to build their team. So if they spend chunk of their money on one player, so how they're gonna build the team? So that's the main. So auction could be very tricky sometimes. So let's see what happens.
Okay, अगर मान लिया जाए कि किसी भी टीम के साथ it didn't work out, right, for Rashid, and he comes to the auction. What do you think? Give me just let's see. So we'll revisit this clip after the auction and see what the predictions are. What do you think? What do you think will be the number? Give me a number.
Between 16 to 18.
Good shout. So so essentially not number one pick at SRH, and now in the auction maybe then 16 to 18 perhaps. I would agree with that as well, क्योंकि वो किस्म के bowler बन गए.
There is a reason I said six. So there is a reason I said between 16 to 18, sir, because as you see the purse of the team, it's not much remaining with the team. So if they spend 16 to 18 on one more player, so then how they're gonna get other 16 players if they want. So that's why it's a tricky part.
करेक्ट. मैदान में जाना पड़ेगा इधर उधर ढूंढने के लिए. बच्चा आ जाओ आप भी आ जाओ सबको बुला के फिर टीम बनाओ.
बिल्कुल. So this year's auction is going to be bit tricky, to be very honest, and teams are really working behind the scenes. They're working really hard behind the scenes to build the teams this year.
बहुत मजा आने वाला है. It's going to be quite the auction, and we'll be there, and we are going to revisit this clip once the auction is done and dusted, and it'll be fun. It's amazing. But इसी पे just
मजा देख. मैं कह रहा हूँ मजा देखने वालों को आने वाला है, जो खुद ऑप्शन में होगा उसको नहीं आने वाला देखने में. थोड़ा प्रेशर सिचुएशन है इस बार.
No, tell us कैसा है आपके लिए, when your name is called up and you're sitting and you're watching on TV. Are you watching it? Do you watch it? Do you not watch it? आप क्या करते हो during the auction usually?
3 times I was in the ground. So I have been a part of 1, 2, 3, 4 auctions.
4 auctions.
So 1, then 2nd, then 3rd, then 4th. I think 5 auctions. So out of those 5 auctions, 3 times I was in round, and other 2 times I was in my hometown Moradabad. So what I did, I go to a place there is no network, and I play snooker at the club, and I come back after like 2-3 hours. So once I come out of that basement, so I get the messages and I get to know what exactly happened.
Underground हो जाओ बस, that's it. Best strategy.
Underground हो जाता हूँ मैं, फिर बाद में उसके बाद पता चलता है कि क्या हुआ है.
नहीं, क्योंकि सोचना ही नहीं है ना, because it takes away, like obviously अगर आप ground पे रहते हो तो then all your attention is on the game, right? You are so focused. That's the best option, I guess. तो आप ना matches ढूंढ के खेल लिया करो auction के during. बाकी सबको भी वही बता लेंगे कि auction के during खेलो.
वही ऑक्शन के टाइम या तो मैच खेल लो या फिर मेरी तरह अंडरग्राउंड हो जाओ.
अंडरग्राउंड हो जाओ पीसी भाई, आप ना पार्टी होस्ट करो, सबको बुला लो अंडरग्राउंड, वहां पे चिल करेंगे. पीसी भाई, before we wrap up, I think we've obviously spoken a little bit about modern day T20 spin bowling, which is an art that you've mastered and you've done incredibly well in. And मतलब हमारा जो देश है और इंडियन क्रिकेट इन जनरल की अगर बात करें तो स्पिन हैज़ बीन अ कल्चर फॉर अ वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. वी वर अडैप्टेड टू इट, you know, for many years. Lots of match winners, lots of fantastic cricketers. एंड अभी बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सा एक सिचुएशन बन गया है जहाँ पे वी आर सीइंग अ लॉट ऑफ पेस बॉलर्स कमिंग थ्रू, लॉट्स ऑफ फास्ट बॉलर्स, ग्रेट क्वालिटी, and there are also some spinners. So how do you see this sort of new situation that's come up in Indian cricket जहाँ पे pacers are growing exponentially, and where do you see the spinners sort of growing? उनका where is the spinners growth happening right now in your opinion?
वेल अगर आप फास्ट बॉलर्स की बात करें तो नो डाउट लॉट ऑफ गुड फास्ट बॉलर्स आर कमिंग अप एंड इफ आई प्ले लॉट ऑफ डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट अराउंड सो आई कैन सी सम very good fast bowlers who are doing really well. And if you see, there are a lot of examples like Navdeep Saini who can generate pace, and then Avesh Khan is there, and there are a few more in domestic. Not they don't know much about them, but they are really good. And we saw recently Umran Malik generating very good pace. So I think the reason behind that is NCA plays a big role in that, because the trainers and everyone, they help them, they start learning from a very young age. उनको बताया जाता है उनका ट्रेनिंग कि आप ट्रेनिंग कैसे कर सकते हैं, and there are a lot of good coaches to help them. So that really helps. And if you talk about spin bowling, there are good spinners and they are doing like decently well. If you talk about Vishnu is doing well, and then Rahul has come across, he has done decently well. And there are, so overall if you see spin bowling department also, they're doing well overall. And I hope that continues, because that's something we as Indian cricket team known for. So really hope keep watching these good spinners coming. Then there is another guy called Siddharth Desai who plays for Gujarat. So he came into the Ranji team 2-3 years back at 17-year-old kid, and first 3-4 games he picked a fiver in all the game. Beautiful action, the ball rips through. He has done really well in Vijay Hazare as well. So really hope he's gonna make it big, because he's really good at his work.
Yeah. अगर आप मतलब let's talk about the men's team of course firstly. अगर आप टेस्ट टीम में देखें तो there is this great bunch, और इंडिया में they do so well, they do well abroad as well. Ashwin's there, Akshar's there, Jaddu is there, Jayant Yadav, that's a nice quadrant there, and there are a couple of others also. T20 में भी you have a few options there. Yuzi Chahal has been doing so well. कुलदीप यादव जिनके साथ आपने बहुत ज़्यादा काम किया, you bowled in tandem with him, but now he's faded away a little bit. So लेकिन मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कि there is not one breakthrough name at this point of time that is like coming through, जिसके बारे में सब चर्चा कर रहे हैं, सब बातें कर रहे हैं. Is that a concern? Do you think that at this point of time we don't have like, जैसे पेस डिपार्टमेंट में हम देख रहे हैं कि देयर आर bunch of these fast bowlers that we're excited about. Do you think there's a lack of a name in the spin section now that we are not really excited about at this point of time?
Well, I'm not worried about that, to be very honest, because if you see, it just takes like one good season, half a good season for any spinner to bloom, especially nowadays with so much happening around.
Yeah,
there's so much cricket happening in front of us as Venkatesh Iyer. He has got in his box, and next half he has come as like that was like a dream half IPL for him. He took KKR all the way. He made his India debut. So for a spinner also, it's gonna happen something like that. There are a lot of good spinners, but they need like few good matches, one good season, and everyone starts talking about them.
Okay, so it's coming. You think it's coming?
Definitely, there are a lot of good spinners around in domestic cricket.
That's lovely. I think for romantics and traditionals like myself, that is one part of us that will always be sort of waiting. That will always be thinking, ki, where is the next spinner coming from? Who's our next big spinner? We are obviously we've enjoyed some great phases in the last I think for since we've sort of followed Indian cricket, Hamesha there's always been couple of spinners who have done such an incredible job for India in franchise cricket now as well. And now when you're sitting and seeing the value of spin bowlers overseas, and everywhere else, in fact, you feel a sense of hopefulness that some spinners that there will be new spinners that will come through. Of course, there are folks like Rahul Chahar, रवि बिश्नोई के बारे में आपने बात करी, देसाई के बारे में आपने बात करी from Gujarat. So I guess there is a bunch to look forward to for sure. But BC bhai, what's next for you? What are you working on, and what can people expect from you going forward into a big season of cricket?
Well, my funda is very clear. Right now, I'm just focused on my domestic cricket at the moment. I just finished Mushtaq Ali and then Vijay Hazare. Unfortunately, we didn't qualify in Vijay Hazare. And then obviously there is option to look forward. Let's see which team I go to this year. And if you talk about the long-term goal, so I've not given a thought to it yet because, come on, I'm just 33. So I can play another good 3-4 years easily. And 3-4 years is like a long time. So basically right now I'm sailing in just one boat, just thinking and focusing on my cricket, and other things I'll think about that later on.
Keeping it simple, being grounded in the moment, being relaxed, and just focusing on your skill. That's it. That's all that there is to it, right? And that's what makes you special.
Yeah, 100%. Because if I start thinking, while playing, I'm thinking, yeah, I have to do this, मेरे को ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है. So जो काम मैं कर रहा हूँ, मैं वो फिर नहीं कर सकता ठीक से, because I won't be there 100% mentally. Physically, I'll be there, but I won't be there 100% mentally. And to do well in any field, it's not only about cricket. I'm talking about any field. It's corporate job or anything. If you're 100% there mentally, only then you can, give your best. You're able to give your best. So that's why right now, for long-term goal, if you talk about, so my focus is only on cricket for next few years. And after that, we'll see where it goes after that.
Keeping it simple, Piyush Chawla style. Thank you so much, PC.
100%.
Thank you so very much for being here. Your personality and your style comes through very, very clearly in the way you speak, and I am sure that people that are fans of Indian cricket, that follow Indian cricket, are definitely in awareness of all that you've achieved for India in franchise cricket and beyond, and we're looking forward to seeing so much more cricket from you, as you've mentioned today on our show. सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगा that you're rooted in putting your 100% in your everyday, and we are hopeful that we will see some amazing things from you in the future. So thank you so much, and please keep sharing photos of your son on Instagram. देख के बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
Definitely. Thank you so much, my bhai. Thank you, and you take care. We'll see you around soon.
100%. See you very soon. Cheers.